Hey guys, welcome back to This Week at RuneScape, episode 11. Zach here. Happy Tuesday morning. I hope this finds you well in whatever you're doing, whether that's playing RuneScape, doing raids, going to work, whatever it is. Hope you're having a good day. So, this last week was absolutely crazy in the world of old school RuneScape. We had the release of raids, which, as you can see in these clips, is something totally unique to old school and something that that community has never really had, unless you go back to the early pre-EOC days where bosses like Calfight King and those were just beginning to come out. Now, RuneScape 3 has had raids for about a year and a half, but old school has never really had a try at it, mainly because the mechanics of old school just kind of usually, people think that that wouldn't really coincide with raids that well. But I can tell you from a week of experience now that this update was amazing, and it is here to stay, and I think it's going to be a lot of interesting add-ons to it in the future. The overwhelming responses to it I've seen are very positive, and even though the loots can be frustrating, now that people are starting to learn how to handle the boss rooms and the right strategies and doing the raids more efficiently than they were the first day it came out, the rewards are getting better, and I think people are just hungry to get those elite rewards. Now, I have a member of my clan, one of the generals actually, he has gone, I think he said 60 hours dry without a drop. Now, while that can be frustrating, I think that also kind of stirs something deep inside, like, I gotta keep doing this until I get a drop. So this truly is in-game content for old school RuneScape, and it's something that we haven't had. And there was definitely a pretty steep learning curve, as you can see by some of these clips. I think this is footage from my very first raid, and I was pretty much running around like a chicken with my head cut off, as was the rest of my team, but we managed to get the kill. But yeah, it's become very fun. It's actually very addicting to do raids, because you finish one and you don't get a drop, and it took maybe 45, 50 minutes, even faster if you're really good. And you think, I'll just do one more. And before you know it, you've been in front of the computer for 4 or 5 hours, and maybe you haven't gotten a drop, but maybe you have. But yeah, I really like raids. Now, I will say, to be very, very good at raids, to be very efficient with your team, everybody needs at least 78 herb lore to make your own versions of brews and restores down there, because 78 is the level required for the most effective brews and restores. Now, 90 is required for the highest overloads, but you usually get those from bosses anyways, so it's good to have 90 herb lore, which I don't, but at the same time, you're very likely to get it as a drop from a boss anyway, so I wouldn't sweat that if you don't have it. Your team should be great if it has 78 herb lore at a minimum and not 90, but I would go ahead and get 90 if you have the funds, although right now, leveling up herb lore is extremely expensive and probably not worth it, so I might want to wait on that, although I don't know if it's going to come down anytime soon, because people kind of realize I've got to get herb lore up to be effective here. Also, guys, I will mention that doing raids is an extremely close-knit experience if you're on comms or TeamSpeak or Discord with members of your clan or people that you meet. Just be really careful about who you raid with, because these are humongous drops we're talking about, and I would really only want to be raiding with someone I knew I could trust to actually split the drop, if you guys have agreed on that. So I don't want to discourage going with new people that maybe are just looking to try it for the first time, but really think about like who you're going with, because if you let's just say you get a bow and then that person just logs out, I mean, you don't want to be in that position. So, and also, like I said, raiding with your friends is a great experience. Like, this reminds me of old school RuneScape days where TeamSpeak was kind of a critical element in doing things together. So it really is fun. I really enjoy kind of getting closer with my clan on this. It's been a great experience. So raiding is awesome for team building and clans. Another thing I wanted to mention for you guys is, you might be thinking, well, what's the right good size of team? Like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 100. 100 probably is not going to be very fun, because you got so many people doing whatever. And I mean, at the first day, yeah, it probably might have been fun just to all run in there and just, try it. But from what I heard, big teams like that was just a gigantic mess. So probably not the best idea to do that. I have found that trio is probably the best way to go, because apparently if you go from 3 people to 4 people, the difficulty scales up after that third person goes to the 4th person. So I really like doing a trio, and I did some of that last night too with 2 members of my clan, and it was really efficient, because the difficulty of everything scales to the size of your group. And like I said, I think there are benchmarks like 3 to 4 is where the first leap occurs, and I think maybe 6 to 7 is where another leap occurs. I'm not sure about that. That's just me guessing. But a 3-man team is probably ideal, and also that's putting yourself in line for a pretty large split. Even if you get, maybe just the prayer scroll, which I think is like 200 mil, you're still getting, 60, 70 mil split in that regard. So that's great. 3-man is what I love to do best, because it also kind of divides up the tasks a little more evenly. It's good to have someone who's consistently farming, someone who is consistently grabbing vials and then mixing the herbs. And if you guys can establish that teamwork early on and then make it a consistency throughout raiding with that team, you're going to be in great shape. I mean, we did a 3-man team last night that had a sub 50 raid, which was my first under an hour, and really we could have been so much faster if there hadn't been a few issues. But yeah, once you get that teamwork down, guys, it's just so much fun, and you're going so quick, and you realize you can do more raids, you know, in less time. So you're giving yourself more chances at the big drops. And I know people on the first day were complaining, this is so terrible, the drops are so terrible. Well, because people were dying 10 times, and we're getting less than 1,000 points. And I like how the Jagex mods didn't cave to that. They were like, well, you guys are dying, you don't know how to do it. Give it a week to learn the techniques, and this is going to be a lot better for you. And the complaints that I've seen have gone way down in the last week, ever since the first day. There are still some people that say Zolra's better, but that's a whole different video and a whole different, you know, perspective. Now, I did try and do a solo raid, and this was just a mess. I did make it to Ulm, so I was happy about that. And I still am not great about learning the mechanics. These crystals that pop up out of the ground just absolutely destroy you. And it is so hard to dodge them, and it's so hard to focus on attacking the hands when you're just trying to stay alive. I think I did manage to get both of the hands down, but man, there are so many things that he throws at you. Now, there are some people that can do it, and it's not easy, and it's not meant to be. I would say this takes longer than a corpse solo. But yeah, if you can manage to do a solo kill, I'm telling you, the first Iron Man that gets a solo twisted bow, that's just, I'm already going to give shout out to that guy. That's going to be great. So I hopefully will get a solo kill one day if I have the patience to actually go through this again. Right now, I'm not really feeling the inspiration. I like just doing trios with my clan and with some close friends. But yeah, if you ever tried to solo raids, good luck, because you're going to need it. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up this video, but I will make mention that Thursday's video will be on another raids update, because as you guys have probably seen on Twitter and maybe in the forums or Reddit, there are some pretty notable updates coming to raids, kind of the first tweaks they're already throwing in there. If you've noticed in these clips that when we're farming herbs and supplies, everything is just dropped on the ground, and it's kind of a mess, and it's kind of a pain, honestly. So what they're doing, among other things, is introducing these storage chests to come into the game for you to put everything in. Now, the storage chests will be tiered based on your level of construction. I think 30 is the lowest requirement, 60 is the middle requirement, and 90 is the highest requirement. And based on those levels, you can put different amounts of items in there. I think the 90 construction requirement chest can carry 1,000 items. The level 60 can carry 500, and the level 30 construction one can carry 250. And there's going to be a new type of plank that's exclusive to the raids dungeon that you have to build the chest with. And I will show some clip art from what the chests look like, because they look great. It's like a version of Ulm's mouth into a chest. It's really kind of a cool design and a cool concept that they came up with. So that will make it a lot easier and more convenient to do raids with teams when you have a lot of supplies, when you're making those final preps for the Ulm fight. Everything can just go in the case, and everyone can just go in there and pull out what they need, and not have to just, you know, drop everything on the floor. So looking forward to that. I will have some update news on that update on Thursday when that comes out, and anything else pertinent to raids that will be released on that day as well. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Best of luck to you soloing raids, doing teams, whatever you're doing. If you're still training requirements for raids, good luck with that, and finding a way to do it that's not so expensive. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.